Hello everyone, welcome back to another exercise series. In this series we're going to be looking at chapter 7 exercises from our investment course BUS 325. And in this particular video we're going to be looking at problem number 9. So let's read the problem together. It says, what must be the beta of a portfolio with an expected return on the portfolio of 20% if risk-free rate is 5% and the expected return on the market is 15%. Now this is an untypical question because realistically when you get a similar question you would be given the beta and the risk-free rate and the expected return on the market, and you would be asked to calculate the expected return on the portfolio using the capital asset pricing model, right? But for this one, we are given the expected return on the portfolio, but we want to calculate the beta. And normally, beta is given when we have a particular stock because we know that beta represents the relationship or the correlation coefficient between the specific stock price movement that we are analyzing and the market, or in this case, the movement of the portfolio that we are analyzing and the market portfolio as a whole. But in either case, we are still going to be using the capital asset pricing model to reverse engineer this and find beta. What do I mean by that? Let's first write down the capital asset pricing model and then hopefully things would be a little bit more clear. What does the capital asset pricing model state? CAPM is calculated as follows. The expected return on a portfolio equals the risk-free rate plus beta multiplied by the expected return on the market minus the risk-free rates. And as I was saying, normally you would be given all of these and you would be required to calculate this. But if in case you get a question that is organized the other way around, do not panic. Just write down your formula, substitute the data that you know, and find which of the data is the unknown, and then mathematically manipulate your formula or your equation to get to the unknown value. Okay? So let's do that. Here, what do we have? The data that is given to us is the expected return on the portfolio, 20%, which is this. And we also know from the question the risk-free rate, which is these two. And we know the expected return on the market portfolio, which is this. And the unknown in this scenario is beta. So let us substitute and try to find beta together. The expected return on the portfolio is 20%. That should equal the risk-free rate of 5%, plus we don't know beta, so we're going to keep it as it is, multiplied by the expected return on the market portfolio, which is 15%, minus the risk-free rate again. Now use what you know from your maths background to adjust or play around with this formula to find beta. So this is what we're going to do here. I'm going to move this to the other side, the 5%, and I'm going to distribute beta on what's between the parentheses here. Okay? So my formula would become 20% minus 5% equals beta multiplied by 15% minus beta multiplied by 5%. which means that on this side now, I'm going to have 15%, and that should equal beta multiplied by 10%, right? Now, because we are trying to find what beta is, we want to set it free. We want nothing to be next to beta, right? So how can I achieve this knowing what I know so far? I can divide both sides by the coefficient of beta, right? So I'll divide this side by 10% and the other side of the equation as well by 10%. What will that give me? It will give me that beta equals 15% divided by 10%. That means beta equals 1.5. That's it for this exercise. I hope that you found it useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the comments. And until I see you in the next problem or exercise solution, take care.